Is there a food that makes you thin? Yes. And it may not be one that you normally think about for some reason. I don't know why. Because it's been part of our diet for millions of years, one of the primary parts. And in the last 50 years or so, this food has been stripped away pretty much. And you could probably say that's been a big contributor to the obesity epidemic. I don't know. You'll have to make your own decision on that. So, what is the food? It is fiber. It is fiber. Fiberful foods make you feel full. So, that's the thing we want to remember because there's three big reasons why fiber is so effective in helping you to lose weight. Because, weight loss isn't just about reducing calories. I mean, technically it is. But the bigger question is, how do you get yourself to reduce calories consistently, right? That's the real secret. And the way you do that is to manage your hunger. Okay. So there's three big reasons why fiberful foods are so helpful in helping you lose weight. The first one is that when you're eating some food with a lot of fiber in it, the calories in that food are binded to the fiber. And so the first thing that happens from that is that because those calories are binded to the fiber, it's a slower absorption. And that is better for your body because there's not that spike of glucose and then that, crash of it being cleared out by the insulin. And so it's a slower, more stable absorption and release of glucose into your bloodstream, which is really beneficial because it makes you feel satisfied longer, right? When it's a slow, steady release of glucose, as opposed to a spike and then a crash. When we eat foods that don't have much fiber in them, again, like flour and sugar, for example, those are powders. And so they're absorbed into your blood really fast and they cause this spike and then a crash. And so with fiber foods, again, it's a slower release. The second big thing is that because these calories are binded to the fiber, a lot of times they're never even released, right? So some of these calories percentage wise are just going to pass right through you without ever being absorbed. And so, you eat 100 calories of flour, all of that's getting absorbed into your body. 100 calories in a fiber form, a percentage of those are going to pass right through without ever being absorbed. And so you're consuming those calories, but you're not absorbing them, right? And that's a beneficial way to, you're eating more and it's making you feel full, but you're not absorbing as many calories. Right? So I think that makes sense. That's going to help you lose weight. And then finally, the big thing about fiber is that it's not absorbed at all, right? So the fiber is not absorbed and it stays in your intestines and it passes through you. And so what happens is that fiber makes you feel fuller longer. Okay. So there's a thing in your intestine called the ileal brake. And so when our intestines are full of fiber, we feel more satisfied. We feel fuller as opposed to powders that just kind of absorbed and then, we're hungry again. So when you start eating more fiberful foods, it makes the weight loss process easier because the calories you're consuming, you're getting more satisfaction from them, more satiety. Okay. They're making you feel fuller longer. And that's going to help you lose weight, right? Because we often have the wrong idea that the way to lose weight is to be really, really hungry, right? So we're starving, we're fighting against our hunger. And it's important to recognize that it's not about being hungry and fighting against that. It's strategically managing your hunger, right? That's the real secret. And probably the most effective way you can manage your hunger is by consuming a diet with a lot of fiber in it. Now, people always ask me, what are the most fiber rich foods then? Right. And so we don't need to go to that level. You don't have to eat just the most fiber rich foods. Okay. What you want to do is you want to start introducing into your diet more fiber. And so it doesn't have to come in only the most fiber packed forms. All right. Get that out of your mind. What we want to do is so that the big four, I suppose, are fruits, vegetables, greens, beans. These are great sources of fiber. And so as you consume more of that fiber in your diet, and again, so I'm trying to get you out of data. I know Americans are always like, give me the most fiber. I'll put all the fiber in there. But if we could kind of chill on that and start integrating into our diet a higher percentage of vegetables, fruits, greens, beans, you're going to start to build up the fiber. And what I've noticed is when you increase the fiber, it's not about eating like an apple and then all of a sudden feeling satisfied, or a salad and all of a sudden feeling satisfied. What I've noticed personally and with a lot of my clients is it's really a process that accumulates over time. Okay. So that the more fiber you're eating consistently over the days, the more you're kind of filling up your intestines with fiber, right? You're going to get into the nuts and nitty gritty of it all. But that makes you feel fuller, and I can't articulate how important that is enough, because a lot of what's been stripped from our modern diet, right? Think about this, processed foods, what's been stripped from them is the fiber, right? Because fiber doesn't process well, it doesn't freeze well, it doesn't package well. And so a lot of the fibers have been stripped from our modern day processed foods because of that. And so we're getting a lot of foods that, again, there's not that fiber. And so it's that instant absorption, that spike of glucose, that release of insulin, that overwhelming the system. It's very unnatural, because most of history, most of our food was packed in with fiber, right? We were eating things constantly that were natural, and most natural foods have a lot of fiber in them. And so we were getting a lot of fiber, and that made us feel more satisfied. That's how we've evolved over millions of years. And so all of a sudden, in the last 50 years, the biggest shift that's happened in our diet in the whole history of humankind, bigger than going from being hunter-gatherers living off the land to farming, even bigger than that, has been the Industrial Revolution and the processing of our food, where, again, the number one thing we're doing is we're stripping the fiber out of it. And so we've removed this most important ingredient from our diet. Now, they've said for years, it doesn't matter, you don't absorb it. But again, you have to think of things in a systemic way. It's not just about if you absorb it and what it does to you. It's the side, residual effects of it, the secondary benefits of it that I've mentioned. Those are the big ones. And so as you start creating a diet more full of fiberful foods, you're going to feel more full. Say that 10 times fast, right? And it's going to be easier. That's the point I'm trying to make, because you got to stop with I'll do anything to lose weight, I don't care how hard it is. You have to stop with that, because that's a short-term approach. And you want to start thinking about, how can I strategically change my eating so that I'm easily and comfortably consuming less calories regularly, because that's how you live at your new goal weight, as opposed to just lose some weight for a little while. And I would say, eating wise, one of the most powerful strategies you have are to introduce more fiberful foods into it and start eating those.